Welcome everyone, my name is John Cottrell and this is Power Hour. This is a 60-minute power Vinyasa yoga practice. For this practice, of course, you'll need your yoga mat rolled out and you'll need a blanket. We're going to be doing inversions today. So part of that will be, we'll be upside down. So we're going to be on our head with our legs in the air, and we just want to have some nice cushioning and padding. Now, of course, like with every practice in the way that you need to practice. You certainly don't need to do everything that I do, and I will certainly give some variations and modifications of postures. Rest whenever you need to, and again, if there's poses that just doesn't fit your body at the moment, don't worry about it. You don't have to do them. All right, let's go ahead and start. We'll start in mountain pose. So you may want to start with your feet about hip distance apart, toes pointing forward, and your arms maybe just relax down by your side, maybe just gently roll your shoulders back. And feel free to close your eyes if you'd like, or just take a soft gaze forward. And just tune into your breath. You might take a few deep breaths in and out. You'll breathe in through your nose, and you can even exhale with a sigh through your mouth. And then a few more times like that, just to help settle into your practice, to arrive in the space. Very good. And just continue with slow, steady breaths. And as you breathe in, you may just take a full breath in and just feel the lifting and lengthening of your spine. Feel the breath rise to fill up your lungs. In a slow and controlled exhale, you may draw your navel inward towards your spine just to get that light contraction of the abdominal section here. Again, you'll inhale, feel tall and lengthen through your spine as the breath rises to fill up your lungs. Exhale, draw belly in. We create the abdominal lock. And take 2 or 3 more breaths like that. Let's move through a half salute to the sun. Let's inhale, extending arms into the air. Take your time and just really stretch, reach high. Exhale, we'll fold forward, so we'll go hinge from your hips, bend your knees as much as you need to as you make your way down towards your toes. You don't have to touch your toes here. Maybe just let your hands rest at your shins, that's fine. Then inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or your thighs and extend your spine. Actually hold this posture. This is half forward fold. Hold here. You have a nice long flat back like a table. Do keep a slight bend in the knees. I'm going to have you just shift your weight forward just a little bit towards your toes. We might need to grip your mat with your toes. By doing so, you're going to feel an engagement in your hamstrings. That's just holding you steady. And also continue to feel the abdominal lock. Go ahead and shift your weight back now towards your heels. Bend your knees and feel like you're going to sit down into a chair. Look forward. Extend your arms out to the side, then stand up nice and tall. Reach into the air, then exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. So that's our half salute. Let's just repeat that. Do the same thing. Let's inhale, extend the arms into the air, reach high. Exhale, we'll fold forward with a good hinge in the hips and a softness in the knees. Make your way down. Inhale, rise up halfway, long flat back like a table. Now on this exhale, we'll fold back down towards your toes for forward fold. Take the depth that feels best for you in this position. You don't have to go all the way down. And once again, start shifting your weight back into your heels. Bend your knees, let your hips drop, look forward, that should extend your spine. Extend your arms out to the side and straighten the legs to help you stand up. Reach up into the air, nice and tall there. Exhale, bring your hands together and back down to your heart. Let's just hold here for a couple of breaths. So that half salute just starts to get the body in motion as we move with breath. Let's go ahead and continue. Let's do our sun salute series A. Inhale, sweep your arms into the air. Exhale, we'll fold forward. Another good hinge of the hips. Bend your knees. Make your way down. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees to place your hands on your mat so you can step or walk both feet back into plank pose. Hold here at the top of a push-up. We're going to inhale. Exhale, bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air. This is our shortcut to downward facing dog. Once you're in the position, just readjust your hands, maybe your feet if you need to, and settle into your pose. You can hold in stillness or maybe pedal the feet like you're walking or pedaling a bicycle. You'll press one heel down and get that stretch in the calf, and then switch. Other heel down, stretch, and just alternate. When you lift your heels, you'll maybe feel that in your toes, even the soles of your feet. And as you're creating that walking sensation, continue to be aware of your hands, pressing firmly into the ground. Strong arms, straight arms here. All right, let's come back to stillness in down dog. Take a breath in, then exhale, walk, step, or even hop both feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale, extend your spine halfway up. Exhale, fold back down. Shift weight into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, let's reverse the swan dive. Come all the way back up to standing. Reach very high. Exhale, hands down to your heart. Very nicely done. All right, let's continue on to Series B. When you're ready, inhale, sweep your arms into the air. Exhale, take chair pose. You're going to sit back as if you're sitting back into an imaginary seat behind you. We'll breathe in, just reach out. Nice extension out through your arms. Exhale, dive forward, down towards toes. Inhale, rise up halfway. Let the top of your head lead you forward. Exhale, bend your knees. Let's place the hands on the ground, walk, step, or even hop back into plank pose. Once in plank, breathe in. We'll exhale and finish the push-up. Coming down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale either to a low cobra, which I'm doing, or upward facing dog. You choose. Then exhale, hips into the air, downward facing dog. Let's continue with an inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reach long. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. We'll turn left heel to the ground behind you. Shift your weight back into that foot. So it's easy for you to lift your hands, reach forward, strong arms. Reaching straight up into the air, that's warrior one. And we'll exhale, fold again. Place your hands back down onto the ground. Let's step back, plank pose. Finish your push-up, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Whenever you're ready, inhale to extend left leg into the air. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat now. Right heel turns to the ground. Put weight into that back foot. As you breathe in, extend the arms, reach out, rise up. There's our first warrior. Exhale, we'll fold. Bring the hands back down. And step back, plank to complete your series. You can always take that shortcut again, right away to down dog. You can always skip these parts. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's hold here for a moment. And go ahead and sit your knees onto the ground. Maybe sit back briefly in hero, or even sit off to the side. Now we're going to lie on our backs. We're going to go into bridge pose. But I'm going to use a blanket for this. And you're welcome to do this as well. Now what the blanket might do is provide a little bit of support for your neck. Now we will be using the blanket again in a similar style at the end of our practice, but I can show you how you can use it here for bridge pose. Now this really depends on the nature of your neck, right through here, the cervical spine. Some of us have a nice curvature in there. Some are a little bit more flat, okay? If you have more of a curve, you may want to use a blanket, because what it does, it creates a nice little platform basically, so everything stays straight. So if you use the blanket, you're going to lie it across your mat like you're crossing the small letter T on your mat. Lie down with your shoulders at the edge of your blanket and your head behind it on the ground. And because of the blanket, it gives you a little bit of a lift, keeping the neck, especially through the cervical spine, straight. And so that will help as you rise up into an inverted pose, or in this case, just a bridge pose. You don't feel any compression, hopefully, in the neck area. So we're just going to take a nice breath in, fill up the lungs, exhale, engage the belly, and then press feet into the floor, lifting hips. And this feels nice because my neck is still free, I can move it gently, and the most important part is I can still breathe because there's no compression there. Especially as you rise up a little higher. You can even use your hands to help lift yourself up if you like, or even slide some blocks underneath you. Now this is important. You want the neck to remain long so you still have the capacity to breathe. And of course, no compression in the neck or spine. Again, this is going to come in handy in some other poses. So let's take 2 more breaths in our bridge pose. You're going to wiggle your toes forward, extend your arms up into the air, and then roll your way back down to the ground. You just hold here for a moment, just everything coming back to stillness. Now if you were using a blanket, you may just want to roll to the side, then rise up. Let's move the blanket out of the way now. Then let's return to a seated position and come to boat pose. So you might lift your feet, you might want to flex your feet here to engage the legs. Let's hold on to the backs of the knees. Lift yourself up so you have a nicely extended spine. Again, we want to be aware of the neck. So you might want to lift your chin a little bit so everything is nice and straight through the neck, rather than maybe dropping the chin downward and looking forward. And again, that might compress in the front part. Just lift a little bit, not too far back, nice and long. Freedom in the throat, extending through the spine. We're going to move here, breathe in. We're going to exhale, cross legs. If you can, roll forward onto your hands. You can just step back into plank pose or hop back into plank. We're going to do another posture here. You're going to come down to your knees. Now, if you want to pad your knees here, you're very welcome to. You don't have to. But if you want to pad your hands and knees with a blanket, you're welcome to do so. I'm just going to spin around. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to side plank pose with a variation. So I'm just tapping my right foot. So I'm going to make a kickstand by swinging that right foot off to the right side. And then I'm going to extend my left leg back, keeping the toes on the ground. And then just shifting over onto the right hand here, so I can open up sideways, just like this. Nice extension, reaching into the air. I've shifted my weight forward towards my right hand a little bit. That way I can flex this left foot and lift the left leg, if you want. That's really just an option. Nice extension in this opening posture. Let's breathe in. We're going to exhale and bring this left hand and left knee back down to the ground. Bring your kickstand back in. Let's do a series of cat and cow. Just inhale, lift your head, looking forward, creating a little back bend in the back body. Exhale, round it all out. And do that a few more times. So just feeling that nice undulation through the spine, that rocking or moving sensation through the pelvis. Just loosening up. Then return to this tabletop position. We'll do the same thing other side. So I'm tapping my left foot. I'm making a kickstand by swinging it out to the side. Extend the right leg back, keeping the toes on the ground for now. Turning towards the right side of the room with the left hand on the mat. Right hand reaching into the air. You can stay just like this, with the right foot still on the ground, or lifting the right leg. Flex the foot so it keeps that leg energized. Nice opening body. This takes a little balance. Let's breathe in. Exhale. Let's bring the right hand and right knee back down to the ground. Bring your kickstand back in. Let's do another set of cat and cow, maybe 2 or 3 breaths. Very nice. Just return to a tabletop position. Let's move back into down dog. You might even step your hands forward first, just a little bit, so your hands or your wrists are out from underneath your shoulders here. Tuck your toes, and with an exhale, lifting knees and hips. There's our downward facing dog. Let's breathe in, and exhale, walk, step, or hop, both feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale, extend your spine. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, soft knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, coming all the way back up. Reach into the air, exhale, hands to your heart. Well done. Just a couple breaths here in stillness. Very good. We're going to continue our flow, just adding on to our sequence. Whenever you're ready, inhale, extend your arms into the air. Let's take chair pose again with an exhale. Sitting back, sitting down. We'll inhale, reach out. Exhale, dive forward, down towards toes. Inhale, let's rise up halfway. Exhale, hands to the ground, walk, step, or hop both feet back into plank pose. Come down if you'd like, Chaturanga Dandasana, or choose your shortcut or any other vinyasa flow. And let's just all meet together in downward facing dog. Let's inhale, extend right leg up into the air. Let's hold it there for a moment, because what you'll do is actually press left heel down towards the floor. It doesn't have to touch the mat, but just feel a little extra stretch through the calf muscle. Now rise up high on your tiptoes of that right foot, lifting you a bit higher. Inhale. Exhale, bring right foot to the top of the mat, step through, left heel to the floor behind you, put weight back into that foot. We'll inhale, rise up, warrior one, and we'll exhale here to a warrior two. If you like, you can take a wider stance by taking the feet a little wider, even lunging a little deeper if you'd like. Nice outstretched arms. Let's take side angle. We're going to reach out, rotate the arms. So you'll reach down, reach up. Now I always go to this placement where my arm is just braced on the inner leg there. If you want to go lower, you're certainly welcome to go lower. Either this palm can come down to the ground or some stacked blocks. Let's breathe in. Now we're going to exhale, turns, bring the hands to the floor. And we're going to step back into down dog, or slide the right foot back and right up into the air. So return to down dog, right leg extended. Let's do the same thing. Press left heel towards the ground, rise up onto tiptoes. Inhale to extend more. Exhale, right foot returns to the top of the mat. Let's go to high lunge this time. So left heel will remain lifted. We still want to shift the weight back a little bit so it's easy for the hands to rise right up into the air. So everything's facing forward. All 10 toes, your heart. Good extension, reaching high, energetic arms. Let's breathe in and lift a little. Pivot left heel to the floor. Let's reopen to a warrior two. Let's set up for triangle this time. So you're going to straighten this right leg. If you need to, you can even shorten the distance between the feet if you want to, which I'm doing. Feel nice and tall through the torso. Then reach out over that right leg as straight as can be. Rotate the arms. Same thing. My hand just comes down to my knee. If you want to go lower, you're certainly welcome to go lower. Let's hold here for several breaths. So we're thinking about extending through the hamstring. So even imagine sending breath right into that area. Couple more breaths. Feel that nice elongation. Now to come out of the pose, stay angled like this, or tipped over as we are. We're just going to bend the right knee, just lunge like that. Okay, and then just turn the body, bring your hands down to the ground. Let's step back into plank pose. Hold plank just to help elongate through the body. Let's just take a shortcut here to down dog. Bend your knees, send your hips into the air. Let's do that exact same sequence on the other side. Here we go. Inhale, extend left leg up into the air. Hold on the exhale. Let's pay attention to the right foot on the ground. Right heel pressing towards the mat to get that calf stretch. Then rise up onto your tiptoes to lift higher. Inhale, more elongation through the left lifted leg. Exhale, left foot now to the top of the mat. Warrior one. Right heel plants into the ground. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, open, warrior two. Wider stance if you'd like, lunging deeper. Outstretched arms. Find and feel the pose. Let's take our side angle. Remember, you can go much lower than I am at the moment. This is just comfortable and works best for my body. You can go much deeper if that feels good for you. But a couple breaths. Okay, we'll inhale. And exhale, turn. Let's bring the hands down to the ground. Return to down dog. We're sliding the left foot back and right up into the air. Returning to down dog. Stay here.
Same thing, right heel presses into the ground or towards the ground. Rise up onto the tiptoes, lift high. Inhale, elongate through left leg. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. High lunge this time so right heel stays lifted. Shift the weight back. Inhale so you can easily rise. There we are. Hold. Nice extension. We want that energy in the arms. When you inhale, lift a little, pivot right heel to the floor. Let's open up to a warrior two. And then set up for triangle. So straighten the left leg. Shorter distance between the feet if you'd like. Reach out past the left thigh. Angled upper body. Rotate the arms. Staying up high or going down low. Holding for several breaths. So you can get that nice lengthening sensation through the back of the leg. Since part of our work today will be getting upside down, we want to have some good extension through the legs. All right, to come out of the posture, stay as you are, but you'll bend this left knee to lunge, and then turn towards the ground. Hands to the mat, let's step back, plank pose, hold. And then downward facing dog. All right, jump, step, or walk. Both feet back up to the top of the mat. Inhale, extend your spine. Exhale, fold. Let's hold here for a few moments. A little bit more lengthening and stretch quality in the backs of the legs. As you did earlier, you might want to shift the weight towards your toes a little bit. Grip the mat with your toes. If hands or fingertips touch the ground, or it can even be on some blocks right here. Feel that engagement in the backs of the legs. Shifting weight back into the heels, bend your knees, look forward, arms out to the side. We'll inhale, standing up tall once again. Exhale, hands to your heart. Wonderfully done. Take a few breaths. All right, go ahead and relax your arms here. So our next pose we're going to work towards, we're going to go into a lunge, but then we're going to change that into a standing splits. And we're just going to keep it modified, really. So a full standing splits is where you're going to be basically just standing on one foot while the other leg is extended in the air and your hands are wrapped around the standing leg. We won't do that part. We're just going to keep the hands on the ground, or if you've got some blocks, use blocks. So you can have the blocks nearby. So let's start a mountain pose. Let's do this together. So here we go. We're going to inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands to the mat, your fingertips to the mat. Put weight into your right foot. Let's just step the left foot back into. So we're going to lunge. Stay on your toes. We're going to rise up into a high lunge. So that's where we start. We're going to take this to a standing splits. So we're going to inhale. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands or fingertips down to the floor or blocks. Put weight forward into the hands and that right foot so the left leg can lift. Now I'm really not too concerned about high or how high this leg lifts. You want some nice extension. Here's some tips. You're going to inhale and just try to extend the spine forward as much as you can, and exhale, fold forward while your head is coming down to near your knee or shin. The left leg is just lifting up into the air. Now it may go straight up if you're highly flexible, but don't worry about that. Just keep it long and really extend it. Now we're doing a modified version by keeping the hands on the floor. And we've created this tripod. Your hands are kind of like the base of a triangle, and your foot is the point of the triangle. So you can create that shape. Let's breathe in. Exhale, bend this left knee. Bring it in towards your chin or chest. Let the back round as you do this. Now set the foot down next to the other. Balanced on 2 feet. Re-extend spine. Monkey pose. Exhale, fold. Let's just do the other side. So just place the hands on the ground. Put weight into your left foot now, and just step the right foot back. Ready for our high lunge. You'll inhale to rise up. Let's hold there for a moment. That should reorient us a little bit. Ready for the standing splits. We're breathing in. Exhale, let's bring the hands back down to the ground, or fingertips on the ground, shifting weight forward towards that tripod so you can pick up that right leg. Energize the foot, reach through your toes, or flex the foot and push through your heel. Modify this tripod as much as you need to. Inhale, see if you can elongate through the spine. Exhale, fold a little deeper towards your left knee. Now that left knee can stay bent. Right leg is reaching back and maybe you're lifting up, so lots of energy in the glutes, your hamstring, the whole leg and foot. So here's our modified version of standing splits. To come out, do the same thing. Bend the right knee, bring it in towards your chin or chest, rounding the spine. It'll be like cat pose. Place the foot on the ground next to the other, balanced on 2 feet. Let's flow from here. Let's just take monkey pose, lift up halfway. Exhale, both hands to the ground. Let's step back, plank pose. Come down, chaturanga if you'd like. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Hold for a moment. We'll take a little bit of a rest. You're going to bring your knees to the floor. Take the knees a little bit wider. We're going to take child's pose. Go ahead and sit back into child's pose. We're going to make it somewhat active. As you sit back, let's just keep the arms extended out front. Use props here if you want. Maybe a blanket or a block to rest your forehead. And some deep breaths. So a nice energetic reaching sensation through the arms, and just notice where this shows up in your body. Maybe through the sides of your body. You might feel this in your back, maybe your shoulders. 2 more breaths. Now, to come out of this posture, after we've moved our props out of the way, rather than just coming back up to hands and knees, bring your elbows to the ground. Let's set this up, because you can do this with parallel arms, or bring the hands a little bit closer together so they form another kind of tripod or triangle. Either one. So then we're just going to rise up onto our elbows and knees. So something like this. We're going to return to side plank like we did earlier. Same thing, tap your right foot. You're going to make a kickstand. Swing it off to the right side. Now the right arm, if it's straight out front like a railroad track, just spin it so the hand is reaching towards or pointing towards the 10 or 11 on a clock. Then just use this left hand on the floor to open up the body. See how I'm opening up sideways? Just like this. So it's just like side plank like we did earlier. The first time we had the hand on the floor, now we have the elbow on the floor. And just opening up like this. Reach it. And maybe that left leg can lift a little higher. Nice energy through the left leg. Flexed foot. Left hand reaching up into the air. We're going to inhale. Exhale, bring everything back down. Knee. Left arm. Let's come back to this elbows and knees on the floor. Parallel arms for railroad tracks, or hands a little bit closer, because you're going to move into dolphin. Tuck your toes. Exhale, pull belly button up towards spine, even a little roundedness in the back, and then lift the knees and hips up into the air. Really press strongly into the ground with your forearms and your hands. Okay, very strong posture. Then we're just going to bring the knees back down. Let's do the other side. We're making a kickstand with the left foot. So it goes out to the side. Left hand kind of spins inward, reaching towards the 1 or 2 on the clock. And then use the right hand to help open yourself up sideways. You can always adjust this left arm. Flexing that right foot to keep that leg energized, reaching up into the air. And of course that left foot is acting as a kickstand or stability for the posture. Reach, open. Take some steadiness here. Let's breathe in and exhale. Let's bring everything back down, back to our elbows and knees. And again, let's set it up for dolphin. Hands can come in together a little closer. Tuck your toes, round your spine a bit with an exhale like cat. Then lift knees and hips into the air. Now I'm tiptoeing forward a little bit more. That'll shift the weight more towards your hands, which is ideal. Knees can remain soft, hips lift up into the sky. So this is kind of an inverted pose. All right, let's bring the knees back down. Let's come up onto hands here and return to downward facing dog. Let's just flow from here. Inhale, extend right leg up. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Let's go back to our warrior one. Rising high, exhale, open warrior two. Let's do triangle again. Straighten the right leg. Shift forward, reach out, tip it over. Let's hold for several breaths, get a little bit more extension through the right leg. Okay, to come out of it, we're just going to bend this knee, just kind of slide down into a side angle. Once you're there, breathe in just to open a little bit more. Exhale, turn, hands to the ground. Now we're going to step back into plank, right foot lifted like this. Okay? But then bend that right knee and set that knee gently onto the mat directly underneath the hip. You're going to take this right arm and bring it down to the floor. We're just repeating what we just did. Make a kickstand with the right foot. Open up sideways. There we are. Reach. Open. Inhale. Exhale. Let's bring everything back down. Come back to hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Other side. So inhale, extend left leg into the air. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Right heel plants, we'll rise up. Exhale, open warrior two. We're doing triangle. Straighten the left leg. Reach out. Rotate. Hold. Nice openings. Leg extension. Feel that nice stretch quality. To come out of the posture, we're just bending the left knee, just kind of sliding down into a side angle pose. Breathe in to open. Exhale, turn, bring the hands to the floor. Step back, plank, left foot lifted. So we're here like this to begin. We're bending that left knee, bring that knee down to the ground underneath the hip. Make a kickstand. We're bending the left arm, bringing it down to the ground. You can see I'm angling the arm. So I'm ready to open up sideways. Kicking that right leg up. You can see it's past parallel. Reaching up into the air. Opening. Find that balance. Breathe in. Exhale to return to hands and knees. Let's just do cat and cow right here. Just a few undulations through the spine. All right, let's sit back. Onto our heels for a second. Slide off, take a seat. Let's swing the legs around to the front. We're going to come to staff pose. So sitting up nice and tall, extended legs, maybe flexing the feet here. Keep the legs straight and strong. Plant the hands into the mat. Press, lift tall through the spine. Roll the shoulders back for a nice upper back engagement. When you exhale, draw belly in. Staff pose. We're going to take a seated forward fold. We're just going to get a little bit more into that hamstring. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, hinge forward just a little bit and just bring the hands down. Let them land on your legs. You can see I didn't go very far, but you can start at a modified posture, stay here, or continue from here. We'll inhale, get a little bit more length. Exhale, you can fold a little bit more. Maybe just step the hands down the legs a little bit towards your toes. If you need to, place a bend in the knees. The back can also round a little bit. So we're thinking about sensation and elongation through the hamstrings. If the back happens to be rounded, a little flexion or stretch quality in your back. And if you're reaching out towards your toes or even just your ankles, kind of a lengthening and stretch quality down through what's called the latissimus muscles here. I'm pointing to the sides of my body. This is kind of right below the armpits, below the shoulder. It's latissimus muscle. I call them your wings. This kind of the spreading out portion of your upper back region on the sides. And we're going to inhale, rise back up, reach up into the air. Exhale, hands down. Just come back briefly to staff, just help re-extend spine. And then into boat, just lean back. Let's bend the knees. If you can, let them float into the air. Maybe your hands are free reaching out, but you can always hold on. Nice lifting and lengthening of the spine. Inhale here, and exhale. Just bring the feet back down to the ground. You can just cross your legs. Feel free to grab some water if you want. Let me just show you the next posture, because we're going to be moving into Dolphin, and we're going to be doing a leg extension there. And if you need to, you can always bring a blanket in when we get to that part. But basically, after we've done this little side opening with the arm on the ground like this, we're going to close this up, bring both elbows to the ground, lift up into Dolphin, and then re-extend that same leg up into the air. So that's be our another inversion quality. Now that really can be an option. You can just do Dolphin and just be in Dolphin with both feet on the ground, or if you shift your body weight forward so you have more pressure towards the forearms and hands, you might be able to get a leg up into the air. So that's part of the sequence. So let's return to a downward facing dog. A little bend of the knees, hips high, strong straight arms. Okay, here we go. Inhale, extend right leg up. Hold there. Press left heel towards the floor. Rise up high on tiptoes. Extend that right leg a little higher. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. High lunge. Right there. We're going to standing splits. Breathe in. Exhale, hands or fingertips to the ground. Make your tripod so you can shift your body weight forward so the left leg can extend way up into the air, or as high as it can go initially. Once you're here like this, we'll inhale, get a little bit more extension through the spine. Exhale, maybe tip a little deeper. Left leg reaching up. Okay, we return to high lunge. Bend the right knee. Set the left foot down behind you onto your toes. Find balance so you can get the hands right back up into the air. Open warrior two. Let's take a reversed warrior, reaching right hand into the air. And as you're reaching into the sky, straighten that right leg. You'll feel a nice lengthening through the whole right side of your body. Reach. Then triangle. Keep legs straight, rotate the arms. So right hand comes down, left hand reaches into the air. More extensions to the body. Side angle, so just bend the right knee to slide down. Here we go, breathe in. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Step back, plank, right foot lifted. Extending, straight line. Bend the right knee. Set the knee onto the mat underneath the hip. Make a kickstand. Put right arm on the floor, elbow on the floor. We're turning sideways. Left leg just floats up into the air. Now we're getting ready for that dolphin. And the same left leg is going to lift. Breathe in. Exhale, let's bring everything back down to the floor. Elbows and knees. Set yourself up. Dolphin. Tuck your toes around your spine. Lift knees and hips. Tiptoe forward a little bit. Now you can stay just like this, or extend left leg up into the air. Reach. If you're able, stay here with leg lifted and come back up onto your hands. You'll be in down dog. Left leg is extended. With an exhale, let's press the right heel towards the floor for a stretch. Rise up onto tiptoes. Inhale, more length in the left leg. And exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. We're on the other side. Hold here for a moment. Readjusting after being upside down. Breathe in, standing splits. Exhale. Fingertips or palms come down to the mat. Shifting weight forward so you can float that right leg up. Once you're balanced, extend spine more. Dip deeper. Right leg lifts higher as possible. Good extensions. Now we're returning to high lunge. Bend the left knee more, so it lowers you closer to the ground, so you can set those toes down behind you again. Find the balance, rise to high lunge, open warrior two. Reverse your warrior. Left hand reaching into the air, keep that extension as you now extend the left leg. Come up and over into triangle. Keep the leg straight. Left hand comes down, right hand up in the air. Side angle. Bend the left knee, lunge. Inhale, open a bit more. Exhale, turn, bring the hands to the floor. Step back, plank, left foot lifted. Here, bend the left knee so you can set the knee onto the ground. Underneath the hip, make a kickstand. Left arm, elbow, comes to the ground at an angle. So that right leg can just float up into the air, as well as your right hand, opening up sideways. Okay, we're getting ready for our dolphin. Elbows and knees come back down to the ground. Remember, the arms can be parallel or more like a triangle. Tuck your toes, round your spine, engage your belly. Lift knees and hips, tiptoe forward a little bit so your hips are nice and high. You also want that weight forward towards the hands. That way the right leg can easily float up into the air. If you can, keep that leg extended. Step up onto the hands. Down dog. Let's just bring that right foot back down to the floor next to the other. Inhale. Exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat. Both feet forward. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse the swan dive. Come all the way up to standing. Reach up into the air. Exhale, hands to your heart. Hold. Take a couple breaths. And then your arms down by your side. All right, shake all that out. So that's basically our sequence. We're just going to put all of that together. So we have a standing splits that takes us upside down. We get a little sideways with that leg extension, so a variation of our side plank, taking us into a dolphin with a leg extension, another upside down posture. So we're going to do those on both sides. We'll finish with an optional pose. It's a headstand, okay? And that's when you may want to bring that blanket in. Okay, let's go. Mountain pose. Let's take a couple breaths here before we move. All right, we're going to inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, let's take chair pose, chair pose. Inhale, nice extension out through the arms. Exhale, dive forward, down towards toes, forward fold. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, hands to the floor, hop or step back, plank pose. Come on down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. And this is where the sequence really begins. We'll inhale, extend right leg up, rise up high on tiptoes of left foot, so you're rising higher. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Right away, high lunge, it's an inhale. As we exhale, bring the hands back down to the ground, ready to shift forward for standing splits. Okay, get those nice extensions through the torso and that left leg. Taking it right into that posture. We're setting the left foot back down to the floor behind you onto your toes. Return to a high lunge, lift up. Open warrior two. Reverse your warrior, reaching into the air. As you reach, extend the right leg. Triangle. Just swing the arms in the other direction. Right hand down, left hand up. Open. Lunge, side angle. Breathe in. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Step back, plank, right leg lifted. Just get that nice elongation. Right knee comes down to the ground. Make a kickstand, right arm comes down to the ground. Open up sideways. Let's float that left leg up into the air as you open. Inhale. Exhale, prep for dolphin. Tuck toes, round spine, lifting knees. Stay here or extend left leg up into the sky. Stay here if you can, come back to down dog. Rise up high on tiptoes of right foot. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. As you exhale, you'll fold, bring the hands to the floor, standing splits. Float that right leg up into the air now. Nice extension through the leg and torso. Dip deeper if you're able. We're setting the toes back down onto the mat behind. Rise again, high lunge. Open warrior 2. Reverse your warrior, left hand up. Leg extension. Triangle. Rotate those arms, left hand down, right hand up. Nice opening, bend the left knee so you're in a side angle now. Breathe in, open. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Back to plank, left foot lifted, straight line. Left knee comes down to the ground, make a kickstand. Left arm to the ground. Open up. Right leg floats up into the sky, right hand does as well. Nice openings there. Ready for our dolphin. Bring everything down. Round spine. If you need to rest, please do so. You can rest here. Feet can stay on the floor or float right leg up. Then down dog. Onto the hands, right leg still in the air. Hold. And then bring that foot down next to the other so you're in a regular down dog. Hold. And then knees to the ground. That's the sequence. Now, bring in that blanket or something soft underneath you. We're moving towards headstand. Now, if you can't do a headstand, that's okay, because you don't have to do a headstand, but you can prep for a headstand. We're going to do it tripod style, meaning you're going to be on your hands rather than your forearms. So the padding is for your head. So I'm just putting it here. So my head will go here on the blanket, my hands will be on the mat. That will create the tripod. So you can watch me at first, and then you can join me. So I have my hands on the mat, head, actually I need to put my, actually it's the other way around. I need to have my hands back here, head at the top of the triangle. Arms are bent at 90 degrees, like that. And I'm rising up. This can be your headstand. You don't have to take the legs up into the air. I'm pushing hands firmly into the blanket, the elbows are squeezing in. Now you can join me here now, and if you want, you can go further, maybe taking one leg up, straight up, and if you do have the balance, the other leg can float up into the air. Again, these are optional. Both feet or one foot can stay on the ground. Maybe you're here. One leg up and then you can switch. Bring that one foot down and bring the other leg up. Floating up into headstand if you want. We're not going to be here too much longer. Okay, let's come back down to the ground. Child's pose. So more upside down sensations. Now we get to lengthen out a little bit and take that pressure off the top of the head. As you're resting, let me just talk about what's coming next. So one more upside down posture. Now earlier we used the blanket to support the neck to get into bridge pose. We're going to use the same blanket technique to get into shoulder stand. Another inverted posture. Take 2 more breaths in child's pose. And slowly make your way back up to hero. Okay, if you need to, reset up the blanket as you'd like. Same setup, so you're going to cross your mat like a small letter T with your blanket. We're going to lie down with the shoulders at the edge of the blanket and your head on the other side of it. That's just going to continue that nice spaciousness that we appreciate in the cervical spine, that neck area. So what you could do for a variation is just take the legs up into the air, even with no blanket, because there's no compression in the neck there potentially. So you can do this, or a little rocking sensation forward and back. Even use your elbows digging down into the ground to help leverage yourself up so you can take the legs and hips up into the air. So an exhale, lift, and you can just catch yourself like this. So your hands your body just sitting in your hands. Knees slightly bent, feet energized. And this is a great variation of shoulder stand. One, you are upside down, but there's very little pressure on the neck. If you want to go further, you can walk your hands more towards the center of your back. freeing up the pelvis, which will allow you to extend the legs straight up. Energize the feet to get more of that stacked sensation. I'm really propped on my elbows, pushing elbows into the ground. And with that blanket, it keeps my neck clear and safe, and I can breathe easily and talk. You can stay here if you like. You can bring knees down towards forehead, bring the feet behind you for plow if you want. This is an option today. Now, you can keep the feet above ground, but with that blanket support, you might be able to bring your toes down to the floor behind you. Or just keep it like this. I'm just doing a variation. I'm still supporting the back. One more breath. Then support your body in your hands. Slowly start to roll your way down to the ground. We're going to fish pose. You might even rise up like this, kind of propped up onto your elbows. Squeeze shoulder blades together behind you, arching the back, tipping the head back. Something like this. So again, I'm just propped up on the elbows. You can even sit on your hands. That'll help. Keep your arms in place. Shoulders roll back, chest lifting, chin lifting up, head tipped back. But if that's too far, you can always tip the chin back in so you don't strain the neck. This is a nice complementary pose to plow pose. You can always bring head all the way down to the ground. This is a nice variation, however. One more breath. Tuck your chin in towards your neck, release the fingers up from underneath you, and go ahead and lie all the way down. You can always move your blanket if it's in the way. Here, just hug the knees into your body, and maybe just some gentle circles. Now from here, feel free to do any pose you'd like to do. I like to start with some circles just to help relieve the low back and the hips. Go ahead and throw in a hip opener if you'd like. It might be happy baby pose, reclining cobbler's pose. So throw in some hip openers if you'd like. After that, you can do a twist. I'll be doing a twist in a moment. First, just getting into some hip openers. You don't have to do these. These are just some options. You can do any other pose. You can do another back bend if you want, or maybe you're already doing your twists. You can even do another inverted posture. Just completing your practice, your moving practice, in the way that you feel fits your body at this moment. Okay, I've done my hip openers. I'm going into a twist. I'm taking my knees over to the left side, extending right arm off to the right side. Do a quick check-in with your body. Just notice how you feel. We did some pretty dynamic postures. Lots of things that were upside down, which involved certainly upper body, upper arm, or your arm and upper body strength, leg extensions, lots of flexibility. One thing about working with inverted postures, it's really, it can be, if you're thinking about this, it can be about seeing things in a new way, a new perspective. Finish your twist, coming back up to center, and then down to the other side. So we can get caught sometimes, or just be mindful of maybe seeing things in one way. And sometimes it can be kind of healthy to see things with a different perspective. And so in yoga, one way to practice that or to be aware of that is to literally turn upside down. Seeing things in a totally new way, because it affects us in so many different ways. Yes, we know about stretching our hamstrings and extending the legs, but what does that feel like when you're literally upside down? Like doing standing splits or shoulder stand. Let's come back up to center. When you're ready, if you've completed all of your movement, feel free to relax in Shavasana. Feel free to use any props that feel nice for you, whether it's that blanket, maybe you have a bolster or some blocks. And just use them as a way to support your body in your restorative position. You might want to elevate your legs, even your upper body, or if it feels good for you, just to lie on your back in Shavasana. And maybe just thinking about this lesson that we've went through together, inversions, and thinking about new perspectives, different perspectives, seeing things in a new way. Notice your breathing. Maybe they're just slow, steady breaths in and out, allowing your body and your mind now just to relax. You've done your work. Continue to notice your breathing. As you're noticing your breath, take 5 slow, deep breaths. Slow, steady breaths in and out. And as you're breathing in and out with this new energy, this new awareness, perhaps a new perspective of your own body, just feel that new energy flowing through you, this life force, prana. Maybe you feel this rejuvenation, a lightness, a greater awareness. Maybe your internal eyes have opened a bit wider. After your 5th breath, just feeling more movement return to your body. Take your time, move in slow motion, and roll onto either side of your body. You can even hold in that nurturing pose for a few breaths. And then still moving as slowly as you can, rise up to a seated position. You can keep your eyes closed at first as you just maneuver yourself into a comfortable seated position. You might sit with your legs crossed. You can always extend one or both legs. Feel that re-extension of your spine, sitting proudly. Your arms can just relax down by your side. Maybe your hands are resting in your lap. Just keep your arms and hands as they are, or bring hands to heart center. Maintain this connection and awareness to breath. Take 2 deep breaths. As you exhale, maybe you're feeling this in your heart. As we come to the close of our practice together, we bow, saying Namaste.